Hello friends. Now this is the 8th lecture on Shelley's Defense of Poetry, and today what we are going to consider is the effects of poetry upon society. And here you have a definition. So beautiful that I thought that I should write down on the board so that you can write down. Understand? I will read out effect of poetry upon society. So poetry, a poet is a nightingale to a skylark, parallel to that. A poet is a nightingale who sits in darkness and sings to cheer its own solitude. So he sits alone, thinking, imagination, thinking. And then what does he do? He sings to cheer his own solitude. So alone he finds great pleasure. With sweet sounds, language, metrical language, repetition of sounds, alliteration, all the prosodic features. His auditors are as men entranced by the melody of an unseen musician. So when the audience, he imagines his audience they are soaked in or immersed in that beautiful sound, entranced, enchanted by the melody, the sweet sound tune of an unseen musician, who feel that they are moved and softened, yet know not whence or why. So this is the effect. The poet sings alone, sitting in his solitude. He enjoys it. His imagination, his audience, they are enchanted. The language is so beautiful. And at the same time, the enchantment and the enjoyment of poetry, great poetry, it affects you, but you don't know from where and how. So there is a kind of celestial feeling when you are living on earth. So a terrestrial being, terrestrial means earthly, an earthly being enjoys heavenly bliss when you listen to or read or somebody recites poetry to you. So very soothing and very soft effect on you. So what does that mean? That means your character will be molded. You will become more civil. Your character will become more sweet. A sweeter person you will become. You will become a soft person. You will become a civilized being. Your habits and relationship with others will become very of high quality. You will feel love for your neighbor. You will feel altruism. Altruism means interest in other people. You will feel you will empathize. When you see a person in distress, you will be distressed. So that kind of elevated position the individual gains when he reads or listens or when he comes into contact with great poets. So it is total refinement, total enjoyment and total wisdom. You understand? See, that is the effect of poetry on individuals. And what is society? Society is a group of individuals. And if all the individuals have the same feelings, enchantment and pleasure and wisdom, you gain wisdom, what will happen? The society, the quality of life in the society will improve. It will be something like the life in heaven. That is not to that extent, but even then we can imagine like that. There won't be quarrels. See, like we say, no? A place where there is no yotha is Ayodhya. There is no need of a yotha, no need of a soldier, no need of a policeman, no need of a a person of the border security force. None of those things. Because it is Ayodhya. Like that. So Ramaraj, we can say. In our terminology, we can say poetry has the effect of creating a Ramaraj on this earth. Understand? And now he proceeds. This is the definition. His own definition. I will read it once again for you. A poet is a nightingale who sits in darkness and sings to cheer its own solitude with the sweet sounds. His auditors are as men enchanted by the melody of an unseen musician who feel not musician but the auditors. So who feel that they are moved and softened yet know not whence or why, from where or why. It is something like another experience I will tell you. Suppose you have got a moonlit night. So beautiful and clear sky. The moon is like a queen in heaven. And you sit there all alone. Just look at the sky and then look at the moon. Sometimes you will feel the moon is moving. So in the moonlit night, you sit alone and think of anything you like. What will happen is you will have that elevated feeling of going or melting. Some kind of melting, feeling of melting and becoming one with that moonlight. You don't know why. You don't know whence. Whence means from there. Such beautiful feeling. Such ethereal feeling. Such celestial feeling. Such heavenly experience that you will enjoy. So this is what happens. This is the effect of poetry on individual. So he says, it gives pleasure. Dulce. In the words of Horace, dulce. At utile. So Horace says that the function of poetry, or what poetry gives to you is dulce et utile. We have seen this. I have given about half a dozen lectures on Horace arts poetry. So there is dulce et utile or utile. So dulce means sweetness. See that? And it delights. And utile means wisdom, teaches. It is mingled with wisdom. Delight mingled with wisdom is poetry. Listen, poetry acts in a divine and unapprehended manner. Unapprehended means you cannot see from when, where. That's what the definition says, no? Whence or why. Unapprehended manner. It just, what you must say, you are given an injection. Then what will happen? You don't know what happened, from where it comes, that feeling. So something like that, just like that. Unapprehended manner. See, for example, if you see, you read La Belle Dame Sans Merci. This is an example I often bring before you because you will understand it better now. That's why I am again giving. Now you read the poem. So when you read the poem till you come to the end of it, there is pleasure of reading it. Beautiful line. What ails the night at arms? Alone and palely loitering. The sedge has withered from the lake, and no birds sing. So when you read it, itself, you have that pleasure. So the poetry, the language gives you pleasure. When you come to the end of it, you get wisdom. What is it? Appearances are deceptive. See, that is it. Or you have stopping waves. Another example that I always give you. But I mean, there's a beauty, no? Who suits these are? With a question. Then the horse. Intervention of the horse. All those things are beautiful. Woods, darkness, filling with snow. All these are beautiful. Beautiful sight. Then what happened? Suddenly there is a revelation. What is it? I have to do my duty. Don't lose myself in this. Don't lose myself in WhatsApp. Don't lose myself in social media. Wasting, I don't say wasting, but you get too much of that, Addiction, that means it is wasting. Because you are actually, what you do when you are 24 hours on this, you get an addiction, a feeling of addiction. You know, one of our great film stars here, he announced that he will never touch WhatsApp. You might have read it in the newspapers. Because if it becomes an addiction, you will have to sacrifice a lot of your prime time. Your prime time is important for you. Yes. So there. So then you see the wisdom, the ones. Miles to go before I sleep. So pleasure, wisdom. And you can see the Patriot. You have read the Patriot by Browning. So it's a beautiful. Again, it's a very nice poem. And you read the poem, you get pleasure, but at the end you understand this. The so-called popularity is not at all lasting. It's only temporary. Isn't it? You will understand that. Or when you read the Nun's Priest's Tale by Chaucer, what a beautiful poem it is, isn't it? And then Nun's Priest's Tale, what is it? Chanticleer. Pride goes before a fall. That's one thing that is wisdom, great wisdom. Pride goes before a fall. And then, what is the next? You find the cunning fox is defeated by Chanticleer. However cunning you are, if the faith is on your side, you will get through. Although there is a tinge of superstition in that, these are lessons that you should learn. If you use your brain, if you use your brain, whatever dangers you fall in, you can escape. That is, the lesson that is given by first is pride goes before a fall. Second is, when you are in trouble, don't speak with your heart, but speak with your brain. That's wisdom. So 4 poems are. Now, what you find is that you see Homer and his contemporaries. Anyone who study the poems of Homer and his contemporaries, they were the delight of infant Greece. Infant Greece, they were the pleasure, delight, and the whole Greek civilization was built on the foundations laid by Homer. The whole Greek civilization was built, erected on the pillars erected by Homer and his poets and his contemporaries. Understand that. You find the ideals of perfection embodied in his characters. His characters are ideals of perfection. Perfect beings. For example, Achilles, Achilles. He is the truth and beauty of friendship. He personifies the truth and beauty of friendship. See? So then what do you feel like when you read Achilles? You feel like identifying himself with him. Then if you are not a true friend of someone, you will feel like that devotion. It will develop in you. If you have got that imagination. The Hector, paragon of patriotism. And you see, when you read Hector and Hector's character, what happens is that idea of patriotism grips you. Like Aeneas, that is Virgil, okay, forget about that, I don't want to mix it up. Ulysses, single-minded devotion to a project. The persistence and devotion to an object. Now, if you are, suppose, all of us have dreams. But dreams without aims, they will remain dreams. Understand? So, dreams should be translated into aims and end products. When you read Ulysses, that is the lesson that you are learning. So, wisdom. So, these characters created by Homer, they are great people. Okay, so you imbibe wisdom, you get pleasure, enjoy pleasure. Understand? They are foundations, for example. They are immortal creations. Immortal creations. They give us inspiration. We feel like imitating them, and then what will happen? Our sentiments are refined. We identify ourselves with them. They become our objects of admiration and we want to become like them. Suppose you have got Achilles, Hector, and the number of persons like Achilles, number of persons like Hector, the number of persons like Ulysses are increasing day by day in our society. What will happen? It will have the effect of poetry upon society. Understand? Society will become people with quality. You understand that? Yes. But some people say they are not edifying characters. They have got their mistakes. They have got their faults. Agree. So that Shelley says that every age has its own barbarity. So when you create a character, that character will be tainted by that negative quality of that age. For example, in the age of, say, in a barbarous age, the fault will be revenge. Suppose a character is created in the background of the age of luxury and satiety, that means plenty, then naturally that character will display that fault, self-conceit, pride. These things are there. But Shelley says that these are only outward dress. But inner character will remain the same. This fault of revenge or self-conceit, accidental. It is like wearing a coat or a shirt or a t-shirt like myself. Whether you use the quality of the dress, that is the fault of the age, will not affect the quality of the individual. Understand that? In a barbarous age, the hero may appear to be barbarous and revengeful. In an age of plenty and luxury, the hero might have, or he may be presented having the fault of self-conceit or pride. But that is immaterial. Because why? Because it cannot affect the beauty, the inner beauty of the character. Understand? This such things, for example, such cannot affect the beauty of the internal nature of the character. Internal nature cannot. See, it is just like you are wearing. Suppose you are a majestic person. You are a very graceful person. If you put on rags, but still you will remain majestic and you will become graceful. Suppose you are wearing rags, still you will be that majestic person and that graceful person. Understand? And another point is that to make people believe, see, if you are presenting a paragon of virtue, an angel, he won't be a human being. So the human beings, to believe that this character is a human being, he must have some fault. It is like pure gold and alloy of gold. Which is better? For making ornaments you need an alloy of gold, not pure gold. See that? Like that. So it strengthens the character. Like gold mixed with the copper strengthens gold. Copper is base material, but when you mix it with the gold, a percentage of copper, you mix it with gold, then it becomes strong. It becomes a stronger material. But as such pure gold, it is not strong. It is flexible. You cannot make ornaments with that. Even if you make it, will not be as strong as ornaments that you make with the gold. Like that. A tainted character is okay, there is nothing wrong, tainted with the fault. He will be strengthened, he says. And then you can also see him getting converted. And it becomes believable. Otherwise, the character will remain unbelievable. Understand? Then he says about some people say about so you understand that characters. Heroes you cannot present in the most perfect form, people will not believe. To make the people believe, he is tainted with the fault of the age in which he lives. But that is immaterial, accidental. Even if a majestic and a glorious and a splendid person wears rags, he still remains a majestic, a glorious, a splendid person. And in addition to that, it strengthens the character. Like a percentage of gold strengthens, a percentage of copper strengthens the quality of gold. And then some people said that there are immoral. Does poetry help moral improvement of man? A question asked. And for this he says, ethical sciences. Such people, they say that only ethical sciences can improve the moral character of man. Shelley says, ethical sciences arrange these moral elements, while the moral elements are created by poets. You understand now? Poetry of Homer and his successors were the glory of Greece. See that? That is the poetry gives wisdom and pleasure. Then he comes to the next point that poetry of Homer, delight of his age. Poetry of Homer and his successors built the Greek civilization. And you found that characters, they are paragons of virtues. Then you found that these characters are tainted with the fault of the age. The reason why that we saw, to make them believable and also to make them strong. After that, the question is, does poetry improve morality? Because morality is the monopoly of ethical sciences. To this, Shelley answers, that's okay. The ethical sciences, they arrange moral elements. But what about the concepts? The concepts are created by poetry. What is the greatest of all ethical elements? Love. It's not, people are not behaving in a wrong way, not because there are no rules and no ethical elements. Why? You have got all the rules, all the civil laws and so on. Even now you can see. But how do people behave? It's not because they don't have rules, but what is moral refinement? And moral refinement is caused by love. Love is, love altruism, empathizing. You can say. When you find a person in distress, you should feel that it's you. To that extent. For that you need imagination. See that? A person without imagination can never be altruistic, never feel love. You can see now. How will you inject, so to say, this quality of imagination in man? Directly saying you should love your neighbor as yourself. Somebody goes to Nathan, the prophet, suppose he goes to David and said, you have done a huge mistake or huge sin, you must repent. He will not repent. Understand? When you see your son goes away, and that is the prodigal son, and he comes back, and he goes away, you advise him, don't go. He will not feel it. See that? So therefore what you do is that you have to defamiliarize the familiar thing. You need paradoxes, for example, poetic or prosodic features, or you find the language style. You have to change the style. Paradoxes for it. If I say, in your beginning is your end, then you don't understand. Then that is defamiliarizing the fact that you will die. In your beginning is your end, that is defamiliarization. If there is a saying in the Bible, if you don't show kindness to this, then what will happen is that whatever you have will be taken and given to the person who that is the exact words I forget. That is, the meaning is this: if you don't show kindness to others, whatever is given to you will be taken and given to the person who shows kindness. That's the meaning. The exact word, the words I forget. That's the meaning. So that is when you say like this, what happens? Then immediately the defamiliarization takes place. Then you are attracted by it. Isn't it? Yeah, I like that. Or you find, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than the rich man to get into heaven. That's paradox. It defamiliarizes the familiar. I hope you understand. You can follow. Exactly like that. If I give you a law that you should love your neighbor, nobody will bother about it because it just lost its meaning now. If I say love your neighbor, but on the other hand, if I tell you a story, say it's about Good Samaritan or any such thing, then you start thinking. Imagination works, and you feel like loving your neighbor. So also the prodigal son story. Nathan goes to David and tells the story. See, story of a poor man who had only just one lamb. And then what happened, etc. It is known to everybody. And then immediately David feels, so I have done that wrong, so I must repent. But straight away, if you can't tell him, this David story I have told in many other lectures also, that's why I don't want to repeat it. See, that is, I think it was in Sydney. It was clearly told. Sydney has referred to this. So this is how you, or is ambition will destroy you, if I say. Ambition will destroy you. But story of Macbeth what will it do? It will go deep in your mind. And you do not know the change it happens. The chemistry of your body and your brain will change at the end of the story. But you don't know whence or why or what. That is poetry. That is the effect of poetry. Understand? So poetry, not like ethical sciences. Poetry creates the ideas. Ethical concepts are created by poets, and that is through stories, imaginative stories, poems, so that it teaches you and at the same time it delights you. God sees the truth but waits. Tolstoy's story of Aksenov. Towards the end of the story, what happens? Aksenov. See, Aksenov tells the actual criminal confesses to him in the jail. Both of them meet. And then he confesses everything to Aksenov. Aksenov was an innocent person. He was jailed for murdering someone. And everybody misunderstood him. At the end, you see the actual criminal who committed the murder. After many years, he was caught and put in the prison, and both of them share their experience. Then this actual criminal says, I am that person who committed that murder. It is instead of me you have been suffering so far. And then what does Aksenov say? He says, God sees the truth but waits. Oh, what a wonderful lesson you are. You should read that story if you are not ready. God sees the truth but waits. So the lesson, the pleasure of reading, and the lesson that you are getting. What is the lesson that you can imagine for yourself? So anything beautiful to be created, there should be imagination. And imagination creates poetry. And poetry, imagination creates love. Love means thought and actions that you feel for others, not for your own. pains and pleasures of his species becomes his own. That is the ultimate end of poetry. Love, charity, altruism. That is, you feel for it. You can see now, in most cases, people who take up literature, Malayalam, Hindi, somehow they are found to be refined. Because that mind becomes refined, by reading and studying these things. And literature or poetry replenishes. It enlarges the circumference of your imagination. Poetry enlarges, the poetry means story also. Story, architecture, everything we have seen in general sense and in restricted sense. So it enlarges the circumference of your imagination. It replenishes with new thoughts. It strengthens your mind, just as exercise strengthens your limbs. So every day you weightlifting, what will happen is your muscles will become strengthened. Like that. Read poems, read stories, read dramas. Whatever, your mind will become strengthened. Your imagination. The circumference of your mind will become enlarged. Then your mind will go out to others. Feeling for others, love for others, altruism, charity. Distrust when you see other people's distress. Oh, what a wonderful experience it is. If every one of us is like this, there will be no quarrel, no problem in society, no need of any policeman, no need of any controls, nothing of that. Because your brother's distress is your distress. Your brother's needs are your needs. That is the effect of poetry upon society. Then the quality of the people will improve. Then the quality of the life will improve. The quality of the society will improve. So moral life, so to say. Of course, we don't say, Shelley doesn't say that all the poems are like this. There are inferior poets. For example, he gives the examples of inferior poets whose consumptions are not as high as we think. Say for example, Tasso, Spencer, Euripides and Lucan. These are the names he says. Tasso, Euripides, Lucan and Spencer. Because in them what you find is there is a loss of poetic intensity. That's what later we will see when Mathew says great poetry should be two qualities. First, higher value and high seriousness. That's why, according to Mathew Arnold, we are not discussing Mathew Arnold now, that will come after this. But for the time being, that is Chaucer is not a classic. Even Chaucer is not a classic, according to Mathew Arnold. Why? Because he says there is higher truth, but no high seriousness. So you cannot call him a classic. But Milton is a classic. Homer is a classic, without my telling. Shakespeare is a classic. Understand? So such poems, not all poems, we cannot say. Such classics, they have got this effect on this. Your thoughts become beautiful. You identify yourself with other people. That is the ultimate effect of poetry upon society. I think it is clear now. So we are speaking about the effects of poetry upon society. We saw Homer. First of all, we saw that it is wisdom and delight. We saw Homer and his successors. The Greek civilization was built on the pillars raised by Homer and his successors. That we saw. Then we saw the characters created by Homer. Ulysses, then Hector and Achilles. We feel, after studying them, we feel identifying with them and glorifying them and becoming like them. Then the society will have, there will be, you can say, salutary effect on the society. study. Of course, there is a criticism that all the characters are not paragons or virtues. He says because of the age. But at the same time, it is good because they become believable, plus they become strengthened. And then he says, a majestic king, even if he puts on rags, he will still remain a king. Understand? Like the poor millionaire. The poor millionaire, he stands, or he is wearing rags and holding a vessel in his hand for begging. But still he is a millionaire. So what do you find this feelings of revenge or feeling of barbarity and so on, characteristics like that, negative qualities like that, it doesn't affect the inner quality of the character. It's only accidental qualities. Then you speak about, there is some people say that poetry does not teach morality. And to this, Shelley answers that that's okay, ethical sciences teach morality, but what of that? Ethical sciences gives you rules, what of that? Who is going to obey that? It has to be administered in such a way that there is some delight and pleasure, and then teaching. That only poetry can do. Examples like loving or neighboring, pointing on the fault of a person, the advice to a prodigal son, so such things you have seen. So these things, what happens is, or you have got, that is called the defamiliarizing. You have to defamiliarize the familiar things by using paradoxical languages and stories and so on. And then it says the great secret of morals is love. And love is created by poems, classicals, the classics, we can say. World classics, we say. That means poets with intense poetic faculty. They create classics. When you read classics, there will be transformation in you. And this transformation is edifying and extremely useful to society. So the quality of the society. Quality of the society depends on love. Love, for that you need imagination. Imagination is for what? For imagining you are creating altruistic feeling. That is, when you find a poor man, you must feel, your mind should get disturbance. That is possible only if you have imagination. And if you don't have imagination, you look at that person and go away. But otherwise, and if you have such people, what will happen is the number of people will increase, so the societies, the life of society, moral life, the level of life will also improve. So that is the effect of imagination and love. The secret of civilization. The great secret of morals. St. Paul's definition of love, isn't it? Some famous definition. St. Paul's definition of love. Love sacrifices like that. So the great secret of morals is love. And love is created by poetry. By defamiliarization. Straight away if you say, you are not going to follow anything. But through stories and poems. Works of imagination, great imagination. People who write, writers with great poetic intensity, like Homer, like Shakespeare, like Milton, then they can transform society. They can create revolutions in society. And so we can conclude by saying that transformation of this social life for the better is ultimate effect of poetry on society. Okay? I hope you have followed me. You are enjoying. And then what do? Instead of, don't miss updates. Lest you miss updates, subscribe today. Till we meet again, bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy.